All right. Week 15 is in the books. On to week 16, where we have some Saturday games now because college football is wrapping up. So let's start off right away with the Rams and the Seahawks. I went 10-6 last week. I was 8-2 at one point, and then the 4 p.m. games killed me. But hopefully I can improve upon that. Rams and the Seahawks. The Rams, they come off of a big win against the Detroit Lions. A game in which they had to score 41 points in order to win, a game they had to come back into. I think they were down by 10 points at one point in that game, but they got the job done. Devontae Adams, we don't know if he's going to play as of right now, and the Rams as a whole are pretty beat up on defense. As for the Seahawks, Old Man Rivers gave them a run for their money. I mean, the Seahawks defense came up big in the end, of course, getting the game-sealing pick after Jason Myers had 6 field goals. And I'm going to pick the Seahawks to win this game because I really like their defense. And on top of that, as I said before, the Rams are really beat up right now. And so I think just playing at home and that defense being as good as it is, I think they're going to find a way to stop Stafford. Maybe not completely, but I think as long as Sam Darnold doesn't throw 4 interceptions again, or however many he threw the first time these two teams played, I think that we're going to have a really good game here, and I think the Seahawks are going to be able to walk away with a win. Next up, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Washington Commanders. The Eagles go into Vegas, score 31 points, don't allow the Raiders to score any, and that's it. There really isn't much else to talk about with that game because nothing else of note happened. As for the Commanders, they announced that they're shutting down Jaden Daniels for the rest of the season, so it will be Marcus Mariota for the rest of the way. You know, wanting to protect their golden goose. I am going to pick Philly to win this game, just because their offense, although inconsistent, that defense is as good as any in the league. And that is a Super Bowl caliber defense, and that defense can keep them in any game at all. Now, I know against the Raiders, maybe shutting them out isn't super duper impressive, but they're still a really good defense, and they've shown that time and time again. Look at the Packers game, look at the Lions game. I mean, these are good offenses that the Eagles have been shutting down. So I am going to take the Eagles. They're going to clinch the NFC East. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Next up on the docket, we've got the Green Bay Packers taking on the Chicago Bears. The Packers coming off of a brutal loss against the Broncos, but even more so, losing Micah Parsons for the season. Oh, that stings, man. He's a super fun player to watch, and it sucks that he went down that way. Just hoping for a quick recovery for him and, of course, everyone else that gets injured throughout the season. Injuries suck. But aside the point, the Packers, they're coming into a Chicago team that is ready to beat them down. I'm going to pick the Bears in this one. And I'm doing that for a few reasons. One, without Parsons, I'm not sure about Green Bay's pass rush. You know, I think players like Rashawn Gary, I like him a lot. Lucas Van Ness, I think he's okay. And, you know, they have guys, but none of them have been generating pressure at a rate that Micah Parsons has this year for that team. So now one of them, if not two, are going to have to step up, and I don't really know if they can do that right now. On top of that, Evan Williams potentially being out for the Packers, I think, is a big blow for that defense as well. He's a really good run stuffer in that secondary, and I think the Bears, they're going to go in with a similar game plan that they went in with a couple weeks ago, and that's running the ball. So I am going to go with the Bears here. I don't feel good about it, given the history between these two teams. But I'm going to go with the Bears. I think that they're going to be able to score points on this Packers defense, and I expect Caleb Williams to stay upright. Next up, we've got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Cleveland Browns. I mean, what do you want me to say? The Bills, they're a good team, man, and they were down early against that Patriots team, and they found a way to come back and win that game. That is impressive. And as for the Browns, rough loss against the 49ers or whoever they were playing. I forget who they were playing the Bears. That's right. The Titans were playing the 49ers. Either way, Shedeur Sanders didn't look the best. He threw 3 picks, although one of them wasn't his fault. Still, didn't look great. The Browns, they're just waiting for this season to be over. They're trying to see if Shedeur is, in fact, the guy there. And we'll just have to see. I'm going to go with the Bills in this one. I think James Cook should be able to have a good day. The Browns' defense isn't what they were at the start of the season. So, yeah. Give me the Bills here in this one. I think Josh Allen is also going to have a pretty good day. And that's about it for that. Moving on, we've got the Chargers taking on the Cowboys. Chargers, they're coming off of a win. A nice win at that. And I like the Chargers a lot. I think that they are a good team. They can get the running game going. I was really worried about them after they lost both starting tackles for the entire season. But they've been doing just fine. As for the Cowboys, I mean, look, your season is pretty much over. You got to hope that Philly loses out, which I don't think is very likely. You have to also win out. And that starts with the offense. The offense has been good at times this season, but they also have times when they've been okay at best. You know, Sunday night against the Vikings, they started off that first half pretty good. They scored 17 points in that first half, but then they only scored 9. They scored 9. They didn't score a touchdown in that second half, and that's a problem. So the offense has to be more consistent if they want any chance of getting back into the race here. I'm going to take the Chargers, though. I just don't think the Cowboys have a good enough defense to be able to stop all the weapons that the Chargers have, with Hampton, Vidal being a part in the receiving game as well, McConkey, Allen, Johnston. And I think Herbert is just a good enough quarterback to take advantage of that weak Cowboys defense. So I am going to go with the Chargers here on the road, and we'll see. Next up, I think every NFL fan was saying this on Sunday. Let the joyous news be spread. The wicked old witch at last is dead. And of course, by the wicked old witch, I mean the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Tennessee Titans, with the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, being eliminated on Sunday. And look, I've said before, I was riding the Chiefs bandwagon this season, maybe a little too much, admittedly, but, I admittedly went off of past reputation. However, obviously, that makes me look like an idiot. So, hey, you can laugh at me all you want if you want. Doesn't matter to me. I can take it. But, yeah, the Chiefs, they're not in a good spot right now. They're 6-8, of course, already eliminated from the playoffs. And on top of that, Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL, so that sucks. And on top of that, they owe him $42 million next year. They're going to have a tough time putting a good roster together. However, against the Tennessee Titans, who have been struggling this season, to say the least, Cam Ward has been struggling this season. His deep ball accuracy is not the best. However, I do think Cam Ward is in a rough situation, so I'm willing to be patient with him. I am going to go with the Chiefs here to win this game. They're just, with or without Patrick Mahomes, they're just a better team than the Tennessee Titans. I expect them to run the ball a lot against this Titans defense. And Gardner Minshew has proven in the past that he can be a capable starter in this league. So I am going to go with the Chiefs here. Next up, we've got, the New York Jets taking on the New Orleans Saints. The Jets, they are not a good team. I don't think that's a very controversial take. Brady Cook, I don't think, is the answer over there. They got absolutely pounded by the Jaguars. And there's not a lot of hope for this team. There really isn't. There isn't much here. Breece Hall, I think he's good, but I don't think he's going to stay around for too much longer. Garrett Wilson, I also think is good. We'll see if he sticks around for too much longer. I don't know, man. The Jets, I think, need a complete retool or complete rebuild. They're not a good team. I think they have good pieces along the offensive line. I really like Armand Membu. I like him a lot. But right now, it's just not a good team there. Quarterback situation is up in the air again. As for the Saints, I said earlier in the season, I said way early on, like week 2 or week 3, something like that in one of these prediction videos. The Saints, although I didn't think they were going to be good, I thought that they had potential to be better than people expected if they can get good quarterback play out of one of their guys. And Shough has provided that. Shough has been pretty good for the most part in that New Orleans offense. And so, against my better judgment, I am going to pick the New York Jets to win this game. Now, the Saints, they're on a hot streak right now. They upset the Buccaneers and they swept the Panthers just last week. Shough, of course, as I mentioned, has been playing rather well. But something is telling me that the Saints are, as bad as we think they are. And I think they're going to find a way to lose this game at home. I don't know how it's going to happen. I just think it's going to happen. Give me the Jets here in this one. I don't feel good about it, but I'm going to take the stupid Jets. Next up, we've got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the New York Giants. J.J. McCarthy, I said to be patient with him, and it seems like he is developing. He's had back-to-back games where he's had at least 3 touchdowns, and that is good to see. And the Vikings have won 2 straight now. I'm telling you, you got to be patient with these quarterbacks, man. I know it's J.J. McCarthy's second year, but he's only played, 9 NFL games so far? You got to be patient with these guys. As for the Giants, you're just hoping that you see flashes from Jackson Dart, as I've said many times throughout the season. However, I do think Jackson Dart has looked good at times. I do think that with his play style, he is eventually going to severely hurt himself. But that's the kind of thing the Giants need. They need someone on this team to bring a spark. And they haven't had that spark in years. I'm going to go with the Vikings to win this game. I don't feel good about it. Let me make it clear. I don't feel good about it. And I don't feel good about it because I think that this is the kind of game that the Vikings would typically lose. And I think that the Giants, I very well could see them winning this game. I could see them pulling off an upset. I don't think it's a good matchup for the Vikings. But I am going to go with the Vikings just because I simply cannot, in good faith, pick the Giants right now. So give me the Vikings. Next up, one of the most important games of the week, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Carolina Panthers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they've been struggling lately. They are 2-6. They're 2-6 since starting the season off 5-1. And right now, Baker is struggling. The offense as a whole is kind of struggling. And you found a way to blow that game to the Atlanta Falcons of all teams. Here I thought the Falcons would be blowing leads. Now in 2025, teams are blowing leads to the Falcons. Who could have seen that coming, right? Anyways, yeah, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have not been a good team as of late. As I said, they're struggling mightily. As for the Carolina Panthers, every time I want to believe in this team, they give me another reason not to. I thought that, they had a good chance of beating the Saints. I know it's a divisional game. I know things happen. But then you find a way to lose that game. And man, I want to believe in this team. I really do. I want to believe in Bryce Young. But I can't. I can't right now. I cannot believe in this Panthers team, so I have to pick the Buccaneers. I do not feel good about it. On the road, the Panthers' defense has been improved this season compared to previous seasons, which isn't saying much, to be fair. The defense still needs work there, but I think the Buccaneers are going to win this game because they know they have to. If they don't win this game, people are going to lose their jobs in the offseason, assuming they don't win the division. Next up, we've got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Miami Dolphins. Someone please check on Joe Burrow. And I don't mean this as he's playing poorly. I mean this as a person-to-person, someone please check on Joe Burrow. He has alluded to the fact that maybe he's not doing okay in his personal life with comments. Someone please check on him. That I hope everything is okay with him, both physically and mentally. I've been through it. It sucks. I hope he's okay. With that being said, he did not play well on Sunday. He threw 2 picks. One of them was really bad. As for the Dolphins, they got eliminated from the playoffs on Monday night after they lost to the Steelers in what was not a good showing from them. Mike McDaniel has alluded to the fact that he might bench Tua. As of right now, I'm sitting here Wednesday morning. I don't think he's going to bench Tua. It hasn't been announced that he's going to do that. So as of right now, I can only assume Tua is going to play in this game. But regardless, I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think they have a better offense. We'll see if T. Higgins is going to play. And I think that they can score points on this Miami defense. And I think that if the Bengals defense, I know this is a hard ask, but I think if they can find a way to stop Devon Achane, I think they're going to have a good chance to win this game. So I am going to go with the Bengals. I don't feel good about it. But you know what? Give me the Bengals here. Next up, we've got a very intriguing game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Denver Broncos. Now, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence these past 3 or 4 weeks has been on a tear. Of course, throwing 6 touchdowns on Sunday. Well, not throwing, but combined for a total of 6 touchdowns on Sunday, which is really impressive. Travis Etienne got things going. He's been getting things going recently. And so, that's the kind of Jaguars offense that you've been hoping to see for so long now. Now we'll see if they can replicate it against one of the league's best defenses in the Denver Broncos. As for the Denver Broncos, they have sole possession of the 1 seed in the AFC because the Patriots lost. They won. Bo Nix threw 4 touchdowns against the Packers, and he looked really good. Now, a lot of those touchdowns were because of good offensive line play, but that's one of the things with the Broncos. They have a good offensive line, and that has helped Bo Nix flourish in this offense. And I still worry about the Denver Broncos run game, but I think that it may not matter in the end because they find ways to beat you. They find ways to win games. And so I'm going to go with the Broncos. I would not be surprised if the Jaguars pull off an upset. In fact, I almost picked the Jaguars here. But with how well the Broncos have been playing these past 11 weeks now, I have to pick the Broncos. I can't not pick the Broncos right now. So yeah, give me the Denver Broncos. I think they're going to win this game. It'll be close. It'll be a close game, but I do think the Broncos should be able to win it. All right, next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Arizona Cardinals. The Falcons, they had a comeback victory against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm sure that felt good for morale. Also, can someone tell me what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did to Kirk Cousins? Why does he hate them so much? I mean, every time he plays them, he goes off. But that's aside the point. As for the Arizona Cardinals, another blowout loss to the Houston Texans. I mean, look, the Cardinals, they're not a good football team. They're probably going to have another quarterback next year, or maybe they'll roll with Jacoby Brissett again because he hasn't been that bad. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Cardinals. And you know what? I'm going to pick them. I'm going to pick them to win this game. Although I think Atlanta's defense isn't that bad, I do think the Cardinals should be able to win this game. just because I think they're getting better quarterback play right now. I think they're getting better quarterback play. We'll see if Drake London is going to play in this game. Kyle Pitts went off, I know. But something is telling me that the Cardinals are going to win this game. Michael Wilson has been really good for that team. The running game is not the best right now, especially with no James Conner. Of course, him being out for the season really early on did not help this team. It's not a good team right now, but I do think that potentially they get MHJ back. Michael Wilson, as I said, he's been really good. And we'll see Jacoby Brissett. He's been efficient enough to warrant a starting job right now. So give me the Cardinals, and we'll see what happens. Moving along, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Detroit Lions. Look, the Steelers played their best game on Monday night against the Dolphins. Do I put a ton of stock in it? Maybe not. It is against the Dolphins. But seeing the offense score 4 straight touchdowns was really encouraging. And you got to give credit to the offensive line. I think the offensive line has been really solid for Pittsburgh, especially in recent weeks. Of course, you had Dylan Cook stepping up after he made his first career start, after Andres Pete wasn't able to go on Monday night. Troy Fautanu has been excellent this season. Joey Porter has been excellent this season on the defense. But my worry comes with the consistency of the offense, as it usually does with this team. The Steelers' offense, of course, as I mentioned, scored 4 straight touchdowns against the Dolphins. But what did they do before that? They scored 0 points for the first 28 minutes of the game. They scored 0 points. And then what did they do after those 4 touchdown drives? They didn't do anything. Now, of course, at that point it was garbage time, but still. As for the Lions, they're ticked off. They've lost 2 straight games. Their playoff hopes are dwindling. And they got to win this game if they want a chance to stay in it. And I think they're gonna. I think the Lions, they know they have to win this game. Dan Gamble is going to do whatever it takes. He's going to go for it on 4th and 15 if he has to in the first quarter. This Lions team is mad. Jahmyr Gibbs, I expect him to have a really big day. Of course, the Steelers, will see if Derek Harmon is going to play. We'll see if TJ Watt is going to play. I think they're going to need both those guys if they want a chance in this game. But I am going to pick the Lions to win this game. Of course, I am a Steelers fan, but I am a realistic Steelers fan. I don't think this is going to be a particularly close game. Moving along, we have the Vegas Raiders playing the Houston Texans. I'm not going to waste your time. Raiders are really bad. I don't know who's going to start at quarterback. I don't think it particularly matters. Kenny Pickett was not good last week. Geno Smith has not been good all season. And the Houston defense is very good. I think the Texans defense is going to suffocate this Raiders team. And that's all I have to say about that. The Raiders are not a good team. The Texans are a good team. They have a very good defense, a superb defense. And I think the Texans are going to win this game quite handily. Moving along, Sunday Night Football. We have the New England Patriots taking on the Baltimore Ravens. The Patriots are human. We've seen that they are human. They blew a 21-point lead to the Buffalo Bills. That doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in you heading into the playoffs. Of course, the Patriots still have not clinched their spot yet. They can with a win this week. Please, I'm begging you, Patriots, please win this game. As for the Ravens, Lamar Jackson hasn't really been himself. He had a decent day last week. His 1 pick came off of a Zay Flowers drop. But still, he hasn't been that great. I mean, you gotta see better from Lamar Jackson. He's obviously playing hurt. But being the quarterback he is, I think a lot of people expect him to get back to that form that we've seen in many years prior. However, just given the way the Ravens' offense has been playing and the way Lamar Jackson has been playing, I can't pick the Ravens to beat a team like the Patriots right now. I think the Patriots are going to be upset that they lost last week, and they know that they have to win out in order to ensure the AFC East title. So I'm going to go with the Patriots here. Although I would not be surprised if the Ravens win this game because the Ravens have had the Patriots' number for years now. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens won this game in the slightest. Moving along, Monday Night Football, last game of the week, we have the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Indianapolis Colts. I like the 49ers. They're like the redheaded stepchild of the NFC West. They're still in the thick of it. They're 10-4. They're a game back behind both the Seahawks and the Rams. But the problem is that nobody is talking about them. Everyone is talking about the Seahawks and the Rams, but nobody's talking about the 49ers. And I think that's mainly because, they still have all those injuries. Of course, Fred Warner and Nick Bosa being out for the season, those are the two biggest losses. Brock Purdy missed time, but even despite all that, they've still maintained a good record. And if they win this game, they'll punch their ticket to the playoffs. So I do think that the 49ers have a good chance here up against the Indianapolis Colts, who are starting Old Man Rivers once again. But I'm picking the Colts, dang it. I don't know why. Their defense played really well last week, and it inspired a lot of confidence in me. It feels like they want to play for... I don't know if I want to say they necessarily want to play for Phillip Rivers, per se, but they definitely did look a lot better than they have in previous weeks. And so I'm going to say the Colts ride that momentum off of that strong defensive performance. And I'm going to say they pull off the upset here against the San Francisco 49ers. They also know that they need to win. And Phillip, he may not be able to lob it 30, 40 yards down the field anymore, but he's still as smart as he was 5 years ago. And he can still read defenses and figure out where the soft spot is. So because of that, I'm going to go with the Colts here in an upset. But I would not be surprised if the 49ers kill Phillip Rivers. But that's it for this week. Don't die, and I hope you have a great day.